Today, the Iowa Supreme Court heard oral arguments on that 6-week abortion ban that passed by the state legislature and signed into law by Governor Kim Reynolds last year.
Attorneys on both sides today making arguments on whether or not a temporary injunction on that law should be lifted. A district court judge previously issuing that temporary injunction, blocking the law from taking effect. More details now in our top story at 10. Those justices heard arguments for about an hour today in the Iowa Judicial Branch building there in Des Moines. At question, is abortion a fundamental human right? The state argued that the rational basis test should be applied when justices consider the abortion ban. That test would mean the law is constitutional if the state has a legitimate reason to enact it.
The attorney for Planned Parenthood of the Heartland says the choice of having an abortion or not is a part of personal freedoms, along with upholding the undue burden standard for reviewing abortion laws. The standard determines whether or not laws are overly burdensome or restrictive of a person's fundamental rights.
This court has recognized that autonomy and dominion over one's body go to the very heart of what it means to be free. And that's really what abortion restrictions get at. It's just that under the Iowa Constitution, there has to be a guarantee of certain liberties and certain freedoms.
That, like in the Iowa Constitution, in the federal Constitution, there is no right to be found for abortion. And so what my friends on the other side say, that the right might be hiding here, it might be hiding there in some combination of clauses, is simply not what this court historically has done.
Justices are expected to issue an opinion regarding the 6-week ban sometime in June. Abortion is currently legal in Iowa up to 20 weeks in a pregnancy.
Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds releasing a statement on the oral arguments today, and she said in part, quote, since the United States Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, the decision of when to limit abortion has been given back to the states and the people. For Iowa, the people's elected representatives have drawn a clear line multiple times at when a heartbeat begins. Today, the unborn had their day at the Iowa Supreme Court.
Last year, a special legislative session was held to pass a new 6-week abortion ban. This is after the Iowa Supreme Court ruled back in 2019 to issue a permanent injunction on 2018's so-called fetal heartbeat law. In this latest version of the law, the ban would prohibit most abortions after 6 weeks of a pregnancy. There are limited circumstances that would allow for abortion after that point, such as reporting rape to law enforcement or a healthcare provider within 45 days. Reporting incest within 145 days, if the fetus has a fetal abnormality, quote, incompatible with life, end quote, or if the pregnancy is endangering the life of the pregnant woman.